Hello and welcome to The Insider, a show designed to clue you into the biggest news, events and announcements inside the video games industry, discussing with you some things you may know, some things you may not, and glue that holds it all together is a little bit of my own opinion. My name is Paul James, thank you very much for watching, and let's get off with our episode. So it was about 2 weeks ago that you and I spoke about Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu, games that were then rumoured to be coming to the Nintendo Switch at the end of this year. Well, yesterday, Nintendo and the Pokemon Company finally confirmed these rumours to be true. Pokemon Go, Let's Go Eevee, Let's Go Pikachu are going to be coming to the Nintendo Switch on November 16th. We're going back to the Kanto region, and in this special edition episode of The Insider, we're going to break down exactly what that means. So let's firstly talk about how it is we'll be playing Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu, outside of the fact that it's on the Switch. First things first, the Pokemon core entries are an RPG series first and foremost. And there are some slight deviations to the rule in this particular case. We're still going to get to battle other trainers as we've always done. You'll still find wild Pokemon in the environment, though you can actually see them coming now. They're not random encounters anymore. And you don't actually battle them. You can only catch them, similarly to Pokemon Go. But there's some other differences in this experience that make this Let's Go Eevee, Let's Go Pikachu game sub-franchise stand apart from the core entries, but at the same time also embraces much of what they've done over the years and pulls on those to make the experience better. Accessibility is at the heart of what is going on here. Nintendo, Game Freak, the Pokemon Company, their goal is to get as many people into this experience as possible. They saw 800 million downloads for Pokemon Go, and those numbers were too difficult for the Pokemon Company to ignore. So they've pulled on different features to make this experience accessible, but also meaty for those who are existing fans of the franchise in its old form. And to support this, what we're seeing is a Pokeball accessory that's coming out. It has an analog stick on it, and you can essentially use it as your controller. So you don't need to use the Joy-Cons. You can leave them locked in your dock if you're playing on the TV or even portably. You don't need them. You just need this Pokeball accessory. It's got an analog stick on it. Otherwise, everything else can be performed on it. You've got the stick, you can throw it. It has gyro features in it, so that allows you to catch Pokemon, similarly to Pokemon Go. And really, that's I think looking at that really summarizes what they're going for with this game. It's made to be easily accessed. It's made to be easily played. It's made to be easily enjoyed by you, others around you. You can play co-op with others around you. Take a Joy-Con each and you can kind of catch together. You can battle together. The second player is kind of a support role. But it's meant to be the most accessible core Pokemon game that we've seen to this point. It's not Gen 8. We're going to see that in 2019. But this is a great entryway for a lot of people to this core franchise, some who might have been scared by some of the RPG systems that are still present, but far easier avoided if that's a little bit too much for you. You can just go out and enjoy the game, similarly to what you've done with Pokemon Go in the past. I spoke about drop-in, drop-out co-op. The trading is going to be there, so is battling, and a whole bunch of other features. There's so many to discuss. We'll learn more inevitably at E3 2018, but let's get to the next segment. I've spoken about Pokemon Go quite a bit in relation to this new release. And there's good reason for that. The Pokemon Company, Game Freak, have pulled quite heavily on what Niantic did with Pokemon Go, like I said, to make a more accessible experience. You can transfer Pokemon from Pokemon Go all the way over to Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, and fill out your decks very quickly. What capacity those Pokemon have within the game remains to be seen at this particular point. At the moment, it seems like they're going to a Pokemon, like a Go Park or something like that. But can you take them with you? Can they become a part of your party and be used in combat? I don't know yet, because I've got a lot of 100 IV Pokemon in Pokemon Go that would fit very nicely in the core game. But we'll have to see, in this new console game. But we'll see how that goes. Alolan forms for Gen 1 Pokemon will exist in Pokemon Go, and those two can be brought over to Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. And you can take Pokemon from presumably Pokemon Go, but also Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. You can take them with you in this Pokeball accessory, and you can walk them around like you do in Pokemon Go, so you can get your steps up, you can accumulate more candy in Pokemon Go, and presumably there might be some other perks and incentives to do that with the Pokemon you transfer from this new game. The Pokeball accessory adds a lot of small, simple features that go hand in hand with what we've been seeing in Pokemon Go already. You'll also be able to send some gifts, and Nintendo haven't really specified what that is yet, but they're teasing one significant new Pokemon that they've never before shown, and that seems to work hand in hand with what's going on between Pokemon Go and Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, so I'm really curious to see what they're doing there. So let's focus on some of the big questions out of this thing. First one, what is that Pokemon they're teasing? I'm really curious. Is this some Pokemon that was conceived during the Gen 1 era when they were developing the games that kind of fell on the cutting room floor? I'd be really keen to see what that is and how that kind of interacts with the game, Pokemon Go, and the bigger picture with Gen 8 coming in 2019. We've spoken about battling, but only gym trainers. Can I battle wild Pokemon? Is this a feature that they're completely removing? I really would like that to still be a feature. It worries me a little bit. You can get your experience from catching Pokemon, which is fine. I'm okay with that. But I'd love for you to still be able to battle them in those same turn-based systems. It's an important feature of the Pokemon franchise at this point, and it's my only real worrying point about this whole big picture. EVs and IVs, I'm not super deep into that when it comes to the core games. I know a little bit about them when it comes to Pokemon Go, but the way that system works as opposed to what we see in the core games is very, very different. If I'm able to transfer some 100 IVs over from Pokemon Go, great, but it doesn't really matter too much because I'm not a big competitive sort of person. There's not going to be online, so if there's going to be any competitive battling, it's only going to be local at this point. The Pokemon Bank, that hasn't really been discussed yet, and presumably there's some more details in the future. And again, when it comes to these Pokemon coming from Pokemon Go, stats, what does that mean? Do they come over at level whatever it is that I've got them in Pokemon Go, or do they kind of get reset? Do they enter at a base level and you have to go from there? Like what we've seen from some mystery gift giveaways over the years. There's a few little questions that need to be answered. I'm sure we're going to get a bunch of those at E3 2018. So just buckle in and let's see what Nintendo has in store for us.
Here comes
When this trailer popped up in my YouTube feed earlier today, or yesterday as of when you're viewing this, I could not contain my excitement. I've been looking forward to a Pokemon game on a console, a core Pokemon game on a console, for a long, long time. And whilst, because of the fact that it doesn't appear as though we can actually battle wild Pokemon, I guess the core is not quite intact. It's been kind of sullied just a little bit. We're not quite getting that. But seeing those Pokemon in full 3D, in really beautiful high definition, is something that I'll never forget. Like, that first trailer is something that's going to resonate with me for quite some time. I was giddy. I needed to disappear for a bit. I got some lunch, went and saw some family, showed them the same trailer. I was beyond excited by this entire thing. Gen 8 is going to be coming. It has me really excited to see what they're going to be doing with that down the line. New Pokemon, new features. They're clearly getting quite ambitious. They're pulling on what's happened with Pokemon Go. They're pulling on other things here. They're exploring other ideas, which is really, really important here. What effect that has down the line remains to be seen. But Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee outside of one feature for me, which is that battling wild Pokemon, seems to be hitting this thing out of the park. I'm really excited to see more. I'm hopeful that I'm just misreading it with the whole battling wild Pokemon thing, but it seems pretty legit. We'll learn more at E3 2018. We'll learn more as we get closer to the release date on November 16th, 2018, alongside the Pokeball accessory. For now, just get hyped, get excited. The game looks fantastic. I'm keen for more.
Pikachu! Eevee!
And so that concludes another episode of The Insider. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider liking, sharing and subscribing. All those buttons are down below here, and that'll allow you to get access to weekly episodes of Patched, the Video Games Club, more of The Insider, Player 2 Plays, the Late Game Review, and much, much more, all stuff that can only be found at our YouTube channel. Beginning tomorrow, we're going to be having day-by-day prediction episodes in the Insider format for each and every one of the core E3 2018 conferences. So come back tomorrow, join me, see what I have to say about EA, Microsoft, PlayStation, Nintendo, Square Enix, Ubisoft, and many more. There's some awesome things that are going to be discussed. I hope you come along for the ride. For written content, make sure to visit the website player2.net.au, where you'll find reviews, previews, opinion pieces, news, features, the Player 2 Writer's Draft, and heaps more. There's some awesome content there contributed by some of the best talent in Australia, so please make sure to go and check it out. For rolling updates, you can find me at PaulJamesP2 on Twitter. The website you can find at Player2AU on Twitter. Make sure to visit our Patreon, patreon.com/player2au. Consider kicking in a few dollars. At the lower tiers, you'll get early access to episodes. At the higher tiers, you'll get exclusive access to exclusive episodes of Patched or The Insider or various other shows. And at the very top tier, you can join us in the monthly Player 2 podcast. There's some awesome things there. You're helping to kind of boom that Player 2 dream, help it blow up, help us become big. We really look forward to your support. That's another episode of The Insider. I hope you enjoyed it, and until next time, I'll see you later.